To those of us who don't live there, the Amazon rainforest is a place of distant magic and mystery. It's far away, and it's full of gorgeous landscapes, plants, and animals that seem limitless in their bizarre, colorful diversity. And indeed, the jungle is a global treasure of biodiversity. We value it for being this amazing wilderness somewhere out on this planet of ours. It contains what's likely the longest river in the world, full of fabulous things like pink, playful freshwater dolphins, giant otters, and air-breathing fish, as well as nightmarish predators like piranhas, crocodiles, and anacondas. And the forest itself hosts up to 30% of the terrestrial biodiversity of the Earth. That's up to 40,000 species of plants, 1,300 species of birds, and so many more types of organisms, dazzling creatures like tree frogs, monkeys, tapirs, capybaras, sloths, birds of paradise, jaguars, and so many fabulous things you can't even imagine. The Amazon is also home to many indigenous people groups, some of whom have never encountered the modern society outside of the forest. It's impossible to adequately sum up the ways in which the Amazon rainforest is unique and wonderful. But in addition to the wonders it contains, the Amazon does essential work for us, day in and day out. The amazing amount of plant life in the Amazon, together with the year-round growing season, means that the rainforest is always busy capturing enormous amounts of carbon through photosynthesis. In fact, the Amazon is responsible for around a quarter of the carbon dioxide that's absorbed by land-based carbon sinks around the world. And because of the way photosynthesis works, this carbon capture is matched by the amount of breathable oxygen the forest puts into the atmosphere. So what makes rainforests possible? The rainforests of the world exist within a certain set of conditions that are suitable for them to grow. In general, a warm, moist environment with a stable amount of daylight per 24-hour period year-round, and a certain amount of annual rainfall are needed to support this type of ecosystem. And of course, the part of the South American continent that is home to the Amazon provides this environment. But what might be a surprise is where all of the moisture and rainfall actually come from. You may have learned about the global water cycle with a diagram like this. Water evaporates off the ocean to become water vapor. And that vapor comes together as clouds. The clouds travel on the wind and bring that water vapor over land, where eventually it condenses to fall as rain. Rain falling in most places began as water evaporated somewhere far away, often from the ocean. And like other places, some of the Amazon rain comes from clouds that blow onto the continent from the ocean, loaded with water vapor that evaporated there. But in the rainforest, a lot of that water cycle happens much more locally. An estimated half of the rain that is needed to maintain the rich life of the rainforest comes from the rainforest itself. We know, all the trees and plants that make up the forest doing all that incredible photosynthesis. Well, those plants are also putting water vapor into the air through a process called transpiration. When plants take carbon dioxide from air, they do it by bringing the air into the leaves through tiny holes called stomata. While they have those stomata open to get that carbon dioxide, water vapor is leaving the leaf through those same holes. This water vapor becomes the beautiful mists and clouds in the jungle air and regularly condenses to form rain. The cycle of life there depends on that rain. The constant supply of water is what keeps the rainforest doing what it does, including processing our air. Whenever pieces of the forest are destroyed, part of that life-sustaining water cycle is damaged. Since the forest is so huge, it can make up for some of that loss, but there's a limit. It takes a certain amount of forest to produce enough water vapor through transpiration to create big enough clouds to produce the rain that the forest needs. So if the forest shrinks too much to the point where it doesn't create enough rain to keep itself alive, it will have hit a tipping point. The pace of Amazon forest loss is a bit depressing. This animation from NASA, based on the satellite remote sensing data, shows the progressive deforestation of the region between 2001 and 2018. To properly understand the scope of what you're seeing here, keep in mind that Brazil is about 300,000 square miles bigger than the contiguous United States. I think you can see that we have already lost way too much of this amazing ecosystem. That's the bad news. The good news is that the destruction slowed in 2023, a lot. As of September of 2023, deforestation had declined by 48% from the previous year. It's an open question whether this good news or the bad news is winning, and how close we really are to overshooting that tipping point. A severe drought is affecting the Amazon right now, and wildfires are raging. These things might be happening far away from many of us, but I hope you can see how important they are to us all.